Hello internet, so I have this new device from Aqara. They sent it to me. I honestly didn't think I need it, and now I think it's actually super cool. As you can see, there's a lot of different buttons, and I can use to turn on the light, for instance, turn on the TV, and do a lot of stuff like turn on and off the blind. I'm actually going to show you the all automation I set up through Node-RED after. This button here is supposed to turn off the TV if I long press it. There we go. So pretty nice. Same for the fan. I'm gonna press it. Fan is on. So it's perfect for my living room. As you can see, you have all the temperature and humidity as well, which is a primary thing, by the way, but I use for all these things. So that's the Aqara W100. Retail price is about like $39.99, so it's not that bad. Quite expensive, I'd say. It has Matter, HomeKit, and Alexa compatibility as well. It's also compatible with Google Home and a Smart Thing. And I didn't list here, but it's obviously compatible with Home Assistant, as we're gonna see in a minute. I'm gonna inbox this thing first. You should know there's two versions of it. I think it's barely the same thing. It's just that one have a stand, a magnetic stand that you could fix on the wall. This one you can fix on the wall too, but obviously you don't have the magnetic stand that you can remove it quite easily. And honestly, I think it's a nice design. I mean, it's very minimalist, it's simple, but it's not bad. You have the reset button on the back, and you don't see the pairing codes, and I was a bit scared at the beginning because I saw that in the manual and I thought I'm gonna delete it straight away, but throw it, sorry, but actually it's inside the box if you remove the cover. For resetting, you have to double tap the button and then long press on the back, so it's a reset button, and then you have all these pair buttons, so you can pair it with the J5 Pro that I review if you want to have a look to this video. You can also pair it with M3 or whatever. Actually, let's try with HomeKit, since I have an iPhone with me right now. As you can see, you just have to scan the back of it. You just have to remove the cover. And then I'm gonna speed up a bit because it takes quite some time, and it should be fine at the end. Yeah, so I just need to add to the living room, which I don't see, and for some reason is in French, so séjour. There we go. So it's on HomeKit. I don't think there's much, to be honest, on the HomeKit side of it. You can see the temperature, but then there's nothing much you can do with unless I'm missing something, in which case let me know in the comments. But we can pair this with other device, which is fantastic thanks to Matter, and we're gonna add that to Home Assistant, obviously. So if you go in Home Assistant and you go in settings and add a device, and then you're looking for Matter, you actually can just add integration and then Matter, and then already use Apple Home, and we're gonna add this code there, and then take a while again, and it should be there. So you can see there temperature, humidity, and stuff. You have the button underneath as event, which is pretty neat, and you have other thing, even like the battery type is right in there. So nice. I'm just gonna press the button, and you can see they're working all right. So the battery is CR 240, no, 2450, sorry. If I go on Home Assistant on my Mac, you can see there on the Matter side of it, there is this new entity there, or new device, which is the same thing, which is so sorry, and you can see like it's starting to get the temperature and everything. So if you saw my video already, you might as well just have a look, because I was explaining how to add all these sensors into Grafana and have a kind of nice, well, this one is not the best to be honest, but kind of display everything in a better way that you could with Home Assistant. I'm just gonna edit this one, and I'm gonna add this new sensor. So if I scroll down to the bottom, I'm just gonna copy this one, it'll be easier. And then I'm just gonna change the sensors. So you basically go to Home Assistant and you copy the sensor name without the prefix sensor, and then you paste here, and you should be good. Yeah, you can see there. So it was a peak at the beginning, but probably because it was on my end and it's warming quite easily. Like it's very sensitive to what is around and very reactive. Like, I mean, it's very fast updating. So you can see after it's going inside the range, we're gonna have a look inside in detail in a minute. Just gonna save. But basically, I have another living room in red in air. So this one is actually not in the same area in the living room, but you have an idea. And there I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna copy the last line, which happened to be the living room as well, so undo, and I'm gonna paste there, and as you see 22.9, and then I'm gonna name it Aqara, I suppose, living Aqara, and we have both of them there. So that's good. That's a dashboard I did on Grafana. You sure could do a much better one. I think it's much better to monitor over time, so sensors and everything. It's quite nice. You can see their living and this living is about the same. And you can see the curve as well, they're following the same pattern. So it seems pretty accurate. I'm not sure which one is more accurate than the other one. I couldn't tell you that, but that seems good enough. So let's go in Node-RED, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing there with all this button, and I find it very cool. So we're gonna start with add a event state node, which basically gonna tell us when the button gonna be pressed. So first we need to find this button. We're gonna start by searching for this device, which is a climate sensor W100. So if we double click on this node, we're gonna enter there in the entity side, you can see there. So there is a lot of different entities. We have the button 3, 4, and 5, which is the button plus, middle, and minus. And for this each button, sorry, we have like 3 or 4 different action, which I'm going to show you in a minute as well. So let's start with the third, which I suppose is a plus. So button 3, and we're just going to set done. And then we're going to add a debug node to see, just make sure it's working in the first place. So we're going to connect these nodes and click debug. And by the way, I think like Node-RED is best for Home Assistant. If you have Home Assistant, you need to have Node-RED. That's where I put all my automatization, and I can just easily back up and restore it in every fresh config. So that's pretty nice. And that endless possibility. So I'm going to have the complete message, and there I'm going to clear my debug. And I'm pressing the button, and we should see here coming up, and there we go. So we have all the data from this button, and we should be able to see different actions, hopefully. So if I go there, it should be somewhere. Okay, here we go. So multi-press 1, multi-press 2, long press, and long release, which is probably the same. But basically, we can now do a switch and enter these values. So I'm just going to import it because I was lazy and I just asked ChatGPT to do one for me. It's very straightforward, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, how to do it properly. And then we're going to add a change node, to make sure it's actually working as expected for the beginning. So we're gonna pass this here, and we're gonna do so for all the different actions to make sure they all works. I'm gonna add a debug node again, and I don't see it, and that, let me see if I have someone else that I can copy. No. Okay, so I'm just gonna save it by deployed, and I'm gonna refresh. It's doing that sometime, I don't know why, it's pretty annoying. So I'm gonna add a debug here. So basically every time I'm gonna press this button, it's gonna change it to the correct value, just for me to debug it and display it if it's working properly, and I'm gonna do that for all the button. You obviously don't need to do that, it's just me to check it's working properly, and that's how I do with new device. So enter the value we figure out, and I'm gonna change it for long press, 3, and stuff like this. multi-press 2, and multi-press 1. So now, if I deploy and I press the button again, it should hopefully display this value I just had. So let me press it now, and hopefully, here we go. So yeah, so multi-press 1, so it's working as expected. Multi-press 2, let me try the third button and the release, long press as well. So yeah, it's all good. So we can delete all this now. We have the switch, which is fine. We're gonna keep the switch. We have all these options you can see there, the property, and then multi-press 1, 2, long press, and long release. Although I don't see why long release will be used, let me know in the comments, but I don't think we need it. So we got all the action set up for one button. So basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy all of this and paste it 3 times. And then we're just gonna change this here, obviously. So 4, and another one again for the button underneath, which is the button minus. I might just rename them. So plus button and middle button and minus button. So it's easier to read. Something I like to do as well is to group the nodes. So if you go there, select group selection, and then you have all this inside a group, which is moving everywhere as you move them. We're gonna delete this because we don't need anymore. We just need this. So we have a switch, we're gonna put them here, and we're gonna put them all together. We don't need all the space for now. It's absolutely doesn't matter whatsoever. It's just a cosmetic thing. And then if you double click on it, you can change the color as well and name it. So let's say Aqara W100, and we're gonna change the color as well. So you can change the outline, and you can also fill it with different color, and the transparency as well can be different. So there we go. Again, it's just cosmetic, which is just to spot it easily. So that is good. Now we're gonna start to add some action. Just gonna deploy here in case something goes wrong, at least save. So now we're gonna add a first action, which is gonna be something, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna call the fan, for instance, turn on and off. I don't think my fan have a way to change the speed, unfortunately. I have different ones, so I could play with other one, but I'm just gonna stick with the Xiaomi fan I have now. If I have a look in my Home Assistant and I go on my device and Xiaomi, which is right there, and I should be able to see my fan somewhere. I have a lot of Xiaomi stuff here, as you can see. There we go. So I don't think you can set the speed, unfortunately. You can see the temperature as well, but no speed. But you can turn it on and off, so that's going to be fine for this demo. Obviously, otherwise you can use the plus and minus button to do a perfect automatization for your fan. But I think what we're going to do is quite cool anyway. In my dashboard, I have a speed button, but I'm not sure I understand. Maybe just taken for this model. Although if I press it again, then it's speed 2, so I'm not sure I understand it. Let me know in the comment if you do know, but I'm just gonna pretend I can't change the speed. And then we're gonna do what we saw in the beginning of the video, so basically turn on the light, the TV, and the fan. So let's start with fan on, and we're gonna call it fan on, obviously, or whatever you want. It doesn't matter whatsoever. And we're gonna copy it, change to off, and fan turn off. You could also, and we're probably better to do toggle. We're gonna do that first and check, but that would make more sense since you're gonna be only using one button than if you use toggle instead at on and off. So we're gonna press the middle button to turn it on, and we're gonna long press to turn it off. So that is done, deploy, and okay. you don't have to deploy all the time, just the orbit I took. And then let me try to find the TV light. I'm gonna copy them. This is a flow I did. So I just need to copy this node, which is actually a flow. And I'm gonna pass them here. I actually have a bunch of different lights and different things to do, but it's showing as a node. And then I'm gonna press on with the top button, or the plus button should I say, and off with the minus button. So I have this on my table in the living room, and I have the ability to turn on and off the lights, the TV, and the fan. Talking about the TV, we're gonna add that. I'm just gonna show you as well, you can add different settings regarding the time. So if you add this kind of thing, you can either set the time here, or you can just say a certain position, for example, sunset. Let's start with sunrise, and we're gonna do the opposite, sunrise until sunset. And done. It's already called night, so we're gonna change it to day. So then with this, basically I can have one action during the night, one action during the day, so that even more button and even more different function. So that's just to showcase how you can basically customize everything through Node-RED, stuff that you couldn't already with Home Assistant configuration or automatization, or at least not with that much granularity. Granularity, do I say that right? I'm gonna add the TV. So I think it's media player. That's something should be turned on somewhere. Do we have turn on? Yeah. So TV on. Which thinking about it, I don't really need it because I do have a plug, a shady plug to turn on and off the TV, the soundbar, and everything at once, because otherwise it's take like 20, it's drawing 20 watts in idle or even more. Not sure why, by the way. I think it's a smart thing and stuff like this. And if I'm gonna copy this switch, which is a TV switch, and I'm gonna add to my node, which is an action node, and I'm gonna looking for switch turn on. And again, you could use a toggle. In this sense, it makes more sense for me to do on and off, because it takes time to turn on and off the TV, and then I don't want to press too many times, especially as a kid. And then I'm gonna, I don't know, let's say a long press for now. Again, you can rearrange the nodes wherever you want, it doesn't matter, it's just my OCD. And then if you want in the outside time, as I said earlier, you can put it together. So let's say we turn on the TV, so at night time basically it's gonna turn on the TV straight by pressing in one button instead of a long press, because we don't care about the light on in daytime. Although we could actually do a very better node and add light sensors that I have a lot in the living room, and check this, and then in regard of this, basically take different action. But that would be for another video, because that's long enough it is. Oh, and you didn't see that on my demo at the beginning of this video, but I'm actually also add my blinds, so my electric shutter. I'm just gonna pass first a daily node. So I'm gonna leave like a few seconds before turning on the plug and then turning on the TV. Although it should turn on by itself, just to showcase what we can do. And by the way, you can hide or unhide a node. So for the delay, I usually like to hide them. So I'm gonna press there. And that's the way I do it. So rate limit all messages 1 for 50 sec. And then, let's say 5 sec. And then I do another one, which is this one, delay each message, fix delay 5 seconds. That's how I do delay. I'm pretty sure I'm not doing the right way, and in which case, if you have a better way, do let me know in the comments. Would be grateful for that. I'm gonna save it again, or deploy, should I say, and then we have this delay node, and we're gonna copy it here. Same for turning off, although in this case is a plug, so in theory we don't need to turn off the TV after. It doesn't make any sense, but just to show you. Actually, as you can see, I set up another plug, which is the Xbox. So when my boys are turning off the TV, it's also turning off the Xbox off. And Sam, so turn off. And we're gonna link them. So for this one, it's media_player that turn off, which again, we don't need it, but just in case you want to know how to do it. So then we're gonna also connect this Xbox Node Air. So we good, deployed again, and I'm sorry for deploying that many times. So let's summarize. We have the day and night thing, we have the fan on and off, the lights. Anyway, that's basically it for this video. Do let me a comment if you have anything to say about my setup and what you're doing with it yourself. I hope to see you in the next video. If you do find this content helpful, please consider subscribe or leave a like, or just even a comment is very always nice. And see you on the next one. Bye everyone.